Narayana. Today class is UDS Protocol. It is the most useful protocol in automotive domain. So today I will explain what is the UDS protocol and what are the NRCs are there. So I will explain one by one. Okay, let's start the video. Yes, what is UDS? UDS is a Unified Diagnosis Service. It is address-based protocol. When we are using request, then only the ECU will give sending the response. Here the UDS is nothing but a diagnosis service. So what is mean by diagnosis means to know the ECU information like ECU faults, ECU serial number, ECU chassis number or vehicle chassis number. So software version checking, voltage, power on or power off the batteries. So this type of testing will done doing with help of UDS protocol. So when we are giving the request, then only the user will give the response is known as an UDS protocol. It is also an address based protocol. Okay. Next, what are the services we have worked in? I work in these services. We have different services. Okay, most of the 100 services are there. In these in all the services, these are the most useful and using services. Okay, 10, 11, 14, 19, 22, 2e, 3e, 27, 28, 31, 85. These are the mostly used services. Okay, 10th service is diagnosis session control. 11th service is ECU Reset. 14th service is clear all the DTCs. 19th is Read DTC or diagnostic trouble code. Here DTC means diagnostic trouble code. 22 service is Read DID, data by identifier. 2E service write data by DID means data by identifier. Next one is 3 service, it is in a tester present, and 27 service is a security access, and 85 is a control DTC setting, and 31 service is routine control, and 28 service is a communication control. These are the services we used in UDS. Okay, coming to first service, the diagnosis session control is used to enable the different diagnosis session services. Okay, in the service ID we have the three sub functions. First one is default session, second one is programming session, third one is extended session. These are the three sub functions, and this is the basic service ID. If you use remaining all the services, we have to first use 10 service. So it is most an important service ID. Okay, in diagnosis session control, the service is used to enable the different diagnosis session in the service. Okay, if you use this service, we can use our remaining services in this service only. So in this service, first is default session. It is when we start or when we power on, the ECU will be in default session. When we are using to dump the program or dump the program into ECU, we have to use programming session, and we have come to extended session. We can test or we can use different services IDs in extended session. So extended session is very important session to use remaining all the services. Okay, next, a diagnosis session enable a specific set of diagnostic service or functionalities in a services. At the time only one diagnosis session activate in a server. When we are using the UDS, in that time only one session will be activated. Default session shall be run along the service is powered up. Default session is running when we power off the ECU. Still the default session is running. See here, default. After power on the ECU by default, in default session, when we are using to power on the ECU, the ECU will be in default session. No tester present is required to keep the session activate. See, this point I will explain you when I am explaining the 3, okay, tester present. Okay, when I am explaining the 3 service, then I will explain this point. What is the use of this point? Okay, I will explain you. By default, ECU is a default session. After power up on start the ECU in by default session. Okay, this is transmitter, this is the receiver. So when we giving the message, here DLC means data length code, SID means service ID, here subfunction. So service ID subfunction is 2 bytes, right? So data length is 2 byte. So this is the ID, or this is the request I am giving to the ECU. The ECU will send the response. See here, 50 10 00 32 is a P2 server time, and here 01 F4 P2 extended time. Okay, this is P2 and P2 start time. So I will explain you P2, what is P2, what is a P2 start time in further session. Okay, see here, diagnosis session control. I am using two second subfunction. So I will give the this subfunction. Okay, I will get this response. Okay, here 60, sorry, 6 not 6, it's here 60 50 02. Here subfunction 50 means here how this 50 will get service ID plus 40. In this 40 we can add every service ID because it is ISO certified. So we have to add every 40 plus for this service ID. So then we get 50. So this is 02 subfunction. Positive response. This is the positive response for second one. So I am transmitting another 03. This is 03. So I will get RX message, receiver message is 60 50 03. This is the positive response. Okay, this is today session. Okay, I will explain remaining subfunctions and with examples also. So thank you for watching this video. Please like, share, subscribe my video.